Hey everybody, my name's Jack.
And my name's Mary. Welcome to Concordia On Air.
This week we have...
Tax preparation.
In sports, 2 Concordia athletes nabbed Player of the Week honors.
And on A&E, OnlyFans.
All that and more on Concordia On Air.
Yeah, so Mary and I, we're just talking about zodiac signs before because, I mean, that's what you do in
That's
college
the best way to
and
get
life.
to know people, yeah.
Yeah, Mary and I, we have talked a lot, but we've never had a real one-on-one together, I don't think.
That's true. That's very true. Him being a freshman and all, and me being a senior, it's just kind of like he's baby and I'm an actual adult.
I mean, what zodiac sign are you? I don't even know.
I'm a Libra. I am a Libra sun, Leo moon, and Scorpio rising. So that means I'm very indecisive, confident, and angry. What about you?
I'm an Aries.
You do not seem like an Aries to me.
What is that supposed to mean?
Nothing. So how has your week gone, Jack?
And she cuts me off before I can even fight.
Never
My
mind, I can see
week,
it now.
I don't know, this semester has felt super long to me. I mean, every single day I feel like, I just want it to be night again. But this week has been pretty good. I've had a lot of successes. I had a good test for some reason. And I gave a student presentation and my professor gave me extra credit on it. So I was like, okay.
Wow, good for
okay,
you.
yeah, I know the Gospel of Mark. I went to Catholic school. That's right.
Wait, are you already taking a religion class?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you. Dang. I don't think I took mine until like sophomore year, second year.
That's not terrible at all. What about you?
I don't know. It's been going fine. Dance Nation wrapped up, which I'm like, thank you. Just working on something, no matter what it is, for more than a month and a half can get very tiring. It was an amazing experience, but I'm glad that I got to at least do something else, like dye and cut my hair, because thank goodness. No, and then, I don't know. I just have, senior class stuff and pray that I'll just pass everything so I get to graduate in May and go out into the real world and scream and cry.
Don't even talk about, as you said, I am a first year, I'm super young, but just thinking about 4 years away, the adult world is super frightening. And I can't even imagine being in your spot right now. But on the bright side, it is COVID season. So basically everyone's going to be a lot more lenient, a lot more like, oh, we would do this, but there's COVID right now, so we're just going to relax it a little bit. You know what I mean?
Perhaps. I don't know. My mind is just kind of on job search right now, so hearing that,
Of course.
No, but I guess I kind of get what you're talking about. No, but it is definitely interesting to hear the two very separate perspectives from a freshman to a senior. So, what?
I know exactly what you're talking about. And as a first year, I only know high school comparison. And thinking about that, being a senior in high school and looking at the freshmen, then I was like, oh my gosh, these kids are literal fetuses. They're just fresh out of the womb. And now I feel like I'm so old and stuff, but probably to you, I also look like a fetus.
Yeah, you just took the words right out of my mouth, bud.
You're welcome. I'm glad that we can share that same thought.
Yes, very true. Look at that. Despite the age difference, we can still think alike. Take that, boomers. Anyways.
Yeah,
so,
anyway.
Yeah, but I just wondered, now that we were kind of talking about future stuff and whatnot, I need to ask just that general high school graduation question. What do you want to do with your life?
Yeah, that's a question I'm still asking myself. So right now I'm a comm major. If you guys are thinking about comm major, do it. It's really fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of you're not learning new and hard concepts like you would be in science and math. You're just developing on the old ones and actually digging deep into what they are. So right now I'm taking argumentation with Sternhagen. Great guy, totally recommend. But I'm learning how to structure an argument, which sounds very dumb, I'm not gonna lie. And you're like, why would you want to take a class on how to structure an argument? I'm telling you, totally shaping my world. My dad is a lawyer, so like I've never been able to argue against him because he always pulls his lawyer out on me. But now I think I may have a fighting chance. If you guys have read To Kill a Mockingbird, I'm basically Scout and he's Atticus. It's like the same relationship. So.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, hearing that, it makes me think of my sisters because I am the youngest of 4 girls. One is actually studying to become a lawyer, and one is actually just very, the other 2 are just actually very argumentative. So just hearing that, I'm like, yeah, I have learned how to argue back and forth about just things now, as opposed to my high school self that would stutter and be like, sure, you're right.
Of course, of course.
Of course. But no, speaking of just arguments and kind of hearing what's going on in the world, let's go over to news.
I'm Fiona.
And I'm Dylan.
It's tax season, and to help ease the confusion often associated with tax preparation, Concordia is offering free tax prep through the VITA program. Tax services will be available Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday evenings from 6 to 9 p.m. in the Grant Center, room 118. No appointment is needed, but you will be asked to bring a W-2 form, a photo ID, and your social security card. If you want your refund directly deposited into your account, make sure to bring a blank check with your account number and routing number. If you are married and filing jointly, both spouses must be present. Make sure to get your finances in order and make time to meet with a professional this season.
Yesterday, a person was rushed to the hospital after a car accident that took place in West Fargo. The crash occurred at the intersection of Cheyenne and 32nd Avenue South in West Fargo. The authorities in charge of the investigation say that 3 vehicles were involved with the accident that happened on Tuesday night, and state that the cause of the accident likely came from rapidly deteriorating road conditions from the amount of slippery, wet snow that we received. The authorities said that this was only one of the many accidents that they received calls about in a short period of time, and even claimed that other accidents had been reported on both of the interstates going through Fargo. The name of the individual who was hospitalized was not released to the media, but they are in stable condition after what could have been a deadly accident.
The North Dakota House passed a bill this week to legalize recreational marijuana. This bill was in response to the resolution that was previously voted down in 2020. In an odd turn of events, this new bill was proposed by a lawmaker who was known for being vocally against legalization. The bill outlines the guidelines dispensaries and users would have to follow to legally sell and use the substance. The substance would be exclusive to legal adults older than 21, and an ID would be required for purchase. Dispensaries would only be allowed to sell 1 gram at a time, with users only being able to purchase 21 individual grams a month. Users would be required to only smoke in private property, and the substance would be taxed with income going towards city funding.
Over the weekend, a police manhunt began after a man shot 3 individuals after being involved in an altercation at the Bismarck Tavern. Fargo police are currently searching for Brandon Grant, a 43-year-old man who is currently on the run from law enforcement and is considered armed and dangerous. Meanwhile, just yesterday, a video was found on Facebook of the fight that occurred at the bar. According to Valley News, you can see in the video one man aggressively holds a chair in the air before it's taken away, while the rest of the group seems to be physically fighting with someone in the middle of the circle. What we see next in the video is who appears to be Brandon Grant emerge from the center of the circle and make his way out the back door while others continue to push one another. Shortly after, bartenders say they heard around 10 gunshots ring out just seconds before the video ended, leaving 3 wounded with multiple bullet wounds. Fargo police say all 3 of the victims are still in the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. They say that the injuries are very serious. Police are looking for all the help that they can get and any information relating to the crime or Brandon Grant.
The fossil of a vampire squid lost during the Hungarian Revolution has been found. The fossil was discovered in the archives of the Hungarian National History Museum after it was originally thought to have been burned in the museum fire. It had been hidden in storage with the cuttlefish fossils because it was originally thought that the vampire squid was a relative of the cuttlefish. Researchers were able to analyze the fossil to get new insight into how the vampire squid adapted to lower depths. Researchers believe that the ancient squid gained its adaptation by moving to deeper depths over time, leaving behind the shallower environments where squids typically live.
After a very serious car accident on Tuesday morning, Tiger Woods is reported to be awake, responsive, and recovering in his hospital room. Woods is currently recovering from a surgery after injuring his legs in a rollover car accident, in which the first responders had to use the jaws of life in order to remove Woods from his vehicle. First responders on the scene state that Woods was conscious and aware when they arrived at the scene, but he was unaware of how serious his injuries were. Woods was rushed to the hospital and received surgery on his right leg, in which they inserted a rod, pins, and screws to stabilize fractures to his leg, foot, and ankle. The cause of the crash is still currently under investigation, but police claim that accidents are not uncommon in the area where Woods crashed, due to downhill slopes and curves on the road. And next, an interview with Greg Carlson.
Hi there, everybody. It's Dylan with Greg Carlson, as the other Dylan just said. And Greg, it is, some would say, the best time of the year, if not your favorite time of the year.
It's certainly one of them. You were saying before the interview started that it's kind of like Christmas for me. That happens a few times during the year. Certainly in January, I normally go to the Sundance Film Festival in Park City, Utah. It was a virtual event this year, like so many other film festivals, and the Fargo Film Festival, which will be held in March, will be a virtual event, but it's also award season. So yes, lots of movie viewing and movie voting and preparing for the biggest award show of the season, the Academy Awards, the Oscars.
Wow. So coming up to the Academy Awards and to the Oscars, have you seen any of the big films, the blockbuster films that are probably going to be on the cards?
I believe I have. I certainly hope so. I watch a lot of films, and this is the second year of the North Dakota Film Society as a voting body that chooses films of the year, performances, screenplay, cinematography, etc. And it's made up of several dozen people across the state who work in education or journalism or film exhibition, independent theater owners, and things like that. It was founded by my friend Scotty Nolan, who's a member of the Georgia Film Critics Association, and he reached out to me about doing something like this, and we've had some really great responses.
That's awesome. Yeah, so that's just like the last couple of years.
That's right. Yeah, this was. We've only been around for a little over a year, so we had our inaugural award season last year, where we voted and named. And in fact, the most exciting thing that happened to us was we were the first critics group to name the documentary Honeyland as the best documentary. And the filmmakers were excited and retweeted our announcement, and that made us feel good.
Yeah, that's so awesome. So this year, with the movies that you've seen, of course, movies have been delayed tremendously because of the pandemic, but some have still managed to make it to box offices or on streaming platforms. So what has been your favorite movie of the year, or film, rather?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, I have several movies that I love, and of course, what you love and what your favorites are might be different from what you expect is going to collect an armload of awards. It seems like the safe money right now is on Nomadland. Chloe Zhao's brilliant film with Frances McDormand seems the odds-on favorite to win the Oscar. I liked it a lot. It was certainly in my top 10, probably in my top 5. But there were other films I saw that I liked just as well or better than the Nomadland. So, how about you? Did you see anything in 2020 that?
I mean, if I'm honest, I didn't see many new films. I saw a lot of the films that came out right before the pandemic were the films that I primarily saw, and then once everything hit in mid-March and everything got shut down, I mostly translated to just TV shows because a lot of those places are like formed bubbles or closed environments to where they could keep filming and have safe social distancing. Well, thank you so much for joining. That's really interesting. And what can people expect from the film festival coming up for Fargo?
Well, we're going to talk about it on an upcoming show, so
Okay.
that'll be exciting. It's going to run March 18th to the 28th, and it will be a virtual event. So students, anyone can get tickets to different sessions and watch in the comfort of their own home or home theater.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And now, tossing it to Grant for sports.
Good evening, sports fans. It's no secret that the majority of the men's basketball team's games have been rescheduled or postponed in this already shortened season due to COVID. But they managed to play their second game of the season against Bethel last Sunday. After being sidelined for more than 2 weeks, the men did not look the part. The young Cobbers held an 18-14 lead over the veteran Bethel Royals squad midway through the first half, but the strong start for Concordia gave way to a monster 23-0 run by the Royals, while the Cobbers were shooting 0 for 18 from the field in the next series of possessions. Although they saw their small lead slip away, the Cobbers were able to keep pace with the Royals from that point onward and even managed to outscore them 50-49 in the remainder of the game. Senior Adam Daggett led the Cobbers in scoring with 14 points. Charlie Rasmussen had a team-high 7 rebounds, and freshman Talon Hoffer topped the team in the assist column with 4. The men's next game will take place tonight at 7 against Hamlin. The women's team fared better than the men as they came out on top against Bethel in a 65-62 nail-biter on Sunday. The women jumped out to an early 14-9 lead at the end of the first quarter, but just like the men saw their lead slip away, so did the women. However, the game was always close. The Cobbers finally managed to complete the comeback late in the fourth quarter thanks to a 10-2 run sparked by sophomore Emily Bessman, who led all players with 24 points in the game. Bessman also led the Cobbers in assists with 7, and senior Elizabeth Berkemeyer led all players with 13 rebounds. Bessman's performance in the past 2 games against St. Ben's and Bethel was also good enough to score her the MIAC Player of the Week honors, as she averaged over 20 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 3.5 assists per game. This is already the second time Bessman has been bestowed the Player of the Week honors in her young career, with the first time coming in the team's season-opening victory last season against Minnesota Morris. The women will also play against Hamlin, but it's Thursday, February 25th, right here in Moorhead. Another Cobber received the MIAC Athlete of the Week honors, and that would be senior Josie Herman. Herman received the honors after beating the Division III 800-meter record with a time of 2 minutes and 13.68 seconds in the UND tune-up meet, and she bettered the previous national best by 0.36 seconds. Herman also won the event at a meet which also featured Division I and II athletes as well. And on top of that, she is the first Concordia indoor track athlete to earn the honor since 2004. Herman and the Cobbers will face their first MIAC opponents when they compete against St. Benedict in a dual meet on Sunday, February 28th. And now, let's go to another interview.
Oh, yes.
It's coming right over, so you'll make it. Okay, welcome back to Amy, everyone. We have a very hot topic on today's show, and that is OnlyFans. Speaking of people who have an OnlyFans, we have Grant Cleveguard right here, other friend on A&E. Grant, before you mic up, I'm going to ask you a very serious question. I'll preface it real quick. First, we know that A&E is a website where really anyone can post any kind of content of any kind of just really anything. But typically the content tends to lean more pornographic. When a member has an account, they set a subscription price, and it can be anywhere from like $2 to $20 to pay for a monthly subscription. recently in the news, there's been some talk around celebrities signing up for OnlyFans,
Celebrities.
even though it is typically a website meant for sex creators, sex content creators. Share your thoughts with us.
I mean, isn't that what celebrities really are? They're famous because they look nice. But in all seriousness, I think this is actually pretty harmful to the environment as a whole, with celebrities taking such a large piece of the pie from people that might rely on this income for a living. I know some people might look down on sex work, but I feel like it's the same as anything else. If people are willing to pay, I mean, don't hate the player, hate the game.
I saw a really great tweet today that just explained people will demonize sex workers for selling their body, but isn't that similar to what construction workers do?
Exactly.
It's just the other one has a societal stigma around it when, I mean, not that they're super comparable, but they're both lines of work that require physical ability.
I mean, when you think about work at all, you're really just selling your body, whether you're like independent, like OnlyFans, or like a YouTuber can be independent. They're really just selling their time, selling their body. So I think both are equally as valid. It's just one has a stigma around it because as a society, we still view those things as taboo.
Just a few months ago, Shake It Up Disney star Bella Thorne was in deep hot water because she sent a message out to all of her OnlyFans subscribers saying that she would send them a NSFW picture if they were to pay a certain money amount. Well, when her fans did this, the photo was in fact it wasn't safe for work, but it wasn't safe for work in the way that her subscribers thought it was gonna be, if you know what I mean. Basically, so many people wanted their money back because Bella Thorne had lied to us I'm not really her demographic, but had lied to her subscribers about the content of the photos. So now OnlyFans has restricted that option for all creators. Another example of a celebrity ruining something that was not meant for them.
It was for the people.
For the people.
Yes. I think it is very disheartening to see that just because some celebrities can't play by the rules, and because of it being such a big name that so many people signed up and paid money and then in turn demanded refunds, that it got so much attention, it really forced OnlyFans' hand when really it could have been just another source of income for people looking to get by.
I think that's a really astute observation. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Basically, on A&E, we're saying, boo celebrities with OnlyFans. We're sex positive on A&E. Now, on to a game.
This is not a game. This is Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dylan's.
Yeah.
You can hear Dylan clapping, but you can't see him just yet. We're working on the cameras. So the last time that we did this segment, we were using different kinds of Asian foods. The whole point of this segment is that we can't read what it actually says because it's in a different language, and that's what makes it fun and scary. Now, I will say that I did do a little research beforehand. I kind of cheated because I didn't know if there'd be tree nuts in there, and the EpiPen segment is going to be saved for another show.
As it should.
Thank you.
It needs a separate occasion.
So this time for Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dylan's, we are using Balkan foods. A little geography lesson if you don't know what that is. The Balkan Peninsula is where Yugoslavia used to be. So Croatia, Bulgaria, Bosnia and Herzegovina, all that is over in the Balkan Peninsula.
Yes.
So today we're featuring two different foods. This one is this, and this one is also Kokos de Machia. So yeah, that's about as good of a pronunciation as you're gonna get, and I can't even pronounce pronunciation right. All right, Dylan, which one do you want to do first?
I think we do the drank first.
All right.
Gosh.
Do you just say we look funny?
No.
That's what I thought.
I mean, you too.
Looks like a light. It looks like a watered down Pepsi.
Yeah, so this is called kvass, and for all of you who speak Russian out there, you probably know what kvass is. I won't tell Dylan what it is because I already know what it is, but I'm kind of scared.
This is why it's called Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dylan's.
Yeah.
Look here.
Because all we're doing is just scaring Dylan. Should we take our masks off first?
Oh. Okay.
No. Okay. Here we go.
Oh my word.
Okay, for fermented rye bread, that actually tastes really refreshing.
The smell is
Awful.
absolutely horrendous. Like,
I think it tastes really good. It does smell like fermented rye bread, but it tastes not like
Exactly.
that.
it doesn't taste like ferment. It tastes like how I wish bubbly would taste.
Yes! Oh my gosh, when sparkling water, it's like, yeah, this is cherry, this is pineapple, and it all just kind of tastes like sparkling
Like,
nothingness.
give me the smell of Perrier with this taste.
Yeah!
And then we have an award-winning product. But if I'm being honest with myself, rating on this, the smell ruins it for me, because smell is half the battle when it comes to my buds of taste.
Of course, of course.
And
I can still smell mine from my breath.
yeah, that's enough for me, because even with getting within range is, wow.
Look at how cute these are.
Wow, they look like they're in kind of little hearts, kind of almost.
Maybe it's a
Or
heart. It looks
they
like
get-
those little, like, those Pokemon, the shell ones, you know, the ancient ones that were extinct, but then they found them in, like, that third episode.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, Ammonite. That's what these. Yeah, that's what these look like. I don't know what they're supposed to be flavored, but there's no hazelnuts. Which, fun fact, there's a lot of hazelnuts in Vulcan foods. I found that out on the internet. So it's like a Samoa, and what's the tree cookie? The Girl Scout cookie?
It tastes like
The shortbread one?
No, you're wrong. It does not taste like shortbread.
No, it does. It's
No, it doesn't. It has hints of a caramel delight.
trefoil.
No, you're just wrong. You're really just wrong.
It's the texture of a trefoil, taste of Samoa.
It's not a taste of Samoa or a texture of trefoil.
That's coconut.
It is coconut. There's literally coconut in the caramel delights.
That's what a Samoa is. Caramel
Why?
Delight is the new name.
Then why are you calling it a Samoa?
Because I'm old-fashioned, but these suckers are good. Not
Are
gonna
you
lie.
quirky, Jack? You're so quirky.
Shut up. I don't want to be bullied on my own segment.
So since I haven't eaten since like 11 a.m., these are actually quite good.
I will second that statement because I haven't eaten since 10 a.m. You did. On Concordia on Air, we do not support not having lunch. Just putting that out there.
We do not support not having lunch.
I'm a comm major. I know what I'm talking about. Literally.
Do you? That's fun.
Okay, so overall, I should probably finish chewing first. Overall, personally, I vote this like a solid 6. Its smell, like, kind of makes me want to cry, but the taste is really refreshing. These, I vote an 8. They're a solid cookie. It's definitely a trefoil. No, a Samoa flavored trefoil. Don't listen to him. He's just here for the surprise part, the Dylan part. We can't have diners, drive-ins, and jacks. It doesn't have the same ring. But what about you? What do you say, Dylan? Because your opinion is very valued.
Is it? So let me just consult again. Okay, so that's a -2 out of 11. And then the 7.9 out of 15.
And he goes
Because
back for more.
the perforated chocolate on the back and the intricate designs makes this out to be a phenomenal treat. But then you taste it, and it's just not there. You know that it factor that they say that you have to have when going on like the X Factor? When Simon says, it's a no for me, like when you don't have
This is a no for you.
the pizzazz, this just doesn't have the pizzazz. It has the flair, but it doesn't have anything to follow it. 7.9 out of 15.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you. Seriously.
And thank you again for attending Concordia on Air. We love having you here. If you guys have suggestions for which food we should try next, do let us know because we are very desperate for new ideas. And as always, thank you for coming. Have a great week, guys.